Sports fans of all ages, it's our pleasure to present to you the newest name in Delaware sports and sports around the world, who has had absolutely no success in the real world, so he's dedicated his life to talking sports. He's known to be prickly and very opinionated. It's time to get in the huddle with your host, Coach Muddle.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Nevada Nick is right here. He had to step off. You know, it's game day. It's game day. You know, bookies calling, all kinds of action going on. You know, so you know, you never know. So he had to step behind the curtain real quick and get some calls. So
you make me sound like the guy from Wizard of Oz. Come on now.
So you know, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? I mean, you know.
Yep. What's up, Angela? Do or die tonight.
How you doing?
It's do or die tonight for the Raiders. Why is my volume not going down?
Yeah, what's up with your volume, dude?
I don't know. My phone's driving me nuts. There we go. What is going on? Why will not the the volume won't go down on my phone. What's going on? Sorry. But yeah, you can start. Go ahead.
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about. Big Giants news, a lot of Giants stuff we got to talk about. We got a Raiders must-win game tonight. We have what else do we have? We have a few other.
I want to talk some Sixers tonight too. They had their first.
You know, we got some Sixers stuff going on as well. So we'll check that out and go from there. So let's see how it all plays out today. But also, I guess you want to start with. What do you want to start with? I'm Angela. I'm going to hold the Raider game towards the end because I know Nick's got picks and stuff.
Yep.
So we'll start off. I think the Giants are the biggest thing for me right now because your best corner, Bradbury, just got he doesn't have COVID, but he was in close proximity to someone who had it. So he's out.
Yeah, but you know, Coach, the one thing I don't understand about that. There was video of Des Bryant. Now, the circumstances were a little different because they had to play that Ravens game that night. But remember, he was on the field practicing, and then they announced basically he had COVID, and he was with his teammates on the field, like warming up. So there's no way he was not within 6 feet of somebody, you know? But I think we all know that game, it was almost like, wink, wink, we're going to let it go. We got to get this game in. And the Ravens were already so depleted, you know, that they didn't want to do anything else. But, it's the whole thing's kind of weird to me. And look, that's a tough break for you guys. You're losing your best corner.
This way, I'm the Giants, okay? My defensive strategy is load the box and stop Chubb.
Right.
Lock down Landry with Bradbury and make Baker Mayfield beat you with everybody else.
100%.
You know, I mean, you do that, you're winning that football game because I don't think Baker Mayfield is going to be able to do that. You take away that running game, and I think Baker Mayfield's done. So it's going to be iffy. And also Jason Garrett has COVID. He's not coaching Sunday night. Freddie Kitchens is going to be calling the plays. I like Freddie Kitchens. I think he's more of a guy who is a run-first guy. And you're going to have Colt McCoy in there, so they're going to go back to run heavy and dink and dunk. And I'm getting tired of, people saying, oh, Colt McCoy's terrible. Who are you going to put back there? You can't sign two starters.
No, I agree with that.
That is his job. You hope you don't need him.
Right.
But when it comes time to putting him in, you know what? He's got to be a game manager, and that's all you're asking him to do, manage the game.
Well, that's what a backup does. The problem with backups usually, coaches, look at Taysom Hill. It's longevity. You can play those 3 or 4 games, but over time, you're going to get exposed. And I think that happened a little bit with Taysom Hill. They were talking about, the Saints are 8-0 or whatever it was without Breeze. But the Saints have a very good team. Look, Teddy did great last year. But see, I don't think Teddy was a backup either.
Right.
Teddy's proved himself to be a starter in the league. Colt McCoy, a whole different thing. But let's not forget, Colt McCoy played for the Browns. Freddie Kitchens coach for the Browns, maybe Freddie Kitchen can give that defense some pointers on Baker's weaknesses because he's seen him day in, day out, how he prepares. Maybe he can help that defense a little bit with weaknesses in regards to Baker.
Let's hope so, because this is kind of a must-win for the Giants. You know, these next three games, you got to win 2 out of 3 of them if you have any chance of going to the playoff.
You got to win 2 of 3. I agree 100%. And I think it's going to be a much taller task. I mean, look, any given Sunday. I mean, who thought the Giants were going to beat the Seahawks and the Redskins were going to beat the Steelers that weekend? Nobody. And look what happened. So anything can happen, but you got the Ravens coming in next week. And let me tell you this, the Ravens, they play hard. And that's going to be a tough one.
Hopefully their quarterback still has the runs. Didn't clear up.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of weird too, how in that kind of situation, Coach.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, wait till next year when the Raiders are in New York City. We'll see how big of a Giants fan she is then.
That's all right. That's all right.
Coach, didn't you think that was weird Monday night? Lamar goes out, McSorley comes in, he gets hurt, and then Lamar comes running out. But they were playing for their season. They're playing for their season, the Ravens. And I was just surprised he's out for 2 series. And then McSorley was in the last series, the 3rd series, and basically hurts his knee on 3rd down, which I don't get that either. It's 3rd and 2. No offense, Trace McSorley's a nice player, but he's not Lamar Jackson. Why did they hand that ball off? Yeah, but they ran Trace McSorley. They should have never run Trace McSorley. He hurts his knee. Lamar comes out 4th and 5 and has the touchdown.
That's our alternate team. That's right. Now Angela's got alternate teams. That's the alternate team. The alternate team.
Yeah.
But wait a second. Trace McSorley was a pretty good college football running the football.
So was Tim Tebow. Doesn't mean you're a good NFL QB.
All right. I'm not talking about QB. I'm not talking about being a quarterback. Talking about in a certain situation to run the football on a quarterback keeper, I don't not disagree with that.
Okay. No. I just think there could have been a better play call. Ravens are known for running the ball. Trace McSorley doesn't have a ton of experience. Big 3rd down. You're trying to make a playoff push. I'd have put it, and I know Dobbins is a rookie, but I would have put it in a running back or somebody a little more sure his hands on 3rd and 2, because obviously he loses 3 yards and it's 4th and 5. Lamar Jackson comes out, and like I said, his speed won that game because he hit the corner, and the cornerback got worried he was going to break for the 1st down, slips off Hollywood Brown, and there he goes wide open. And the rest is history. But I think that showed you a little bit. One, Coach, it kind of showed you that Browns defense. Now they were missing Denzel Ward, but there's weaknesses. I mean, there's definitely weaknesses in that defense. They got ran all over, and look, Myles Garrett's great, but there is holes in that defense, and they can be run on.
60 friggin' try and throw the ball 60 friggin' times.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And I think Baker, like I said, Baker's a front runner. That's just how I'm not a fan of Baker Mayfield. I think he's a front runner, and when things go bad and when your team struggles and the game comes down to him, I don't think he can make the plays. I mean, we'll see what happens. But, I mean, and like we said, too, I think the Browns are actually better. Sometimes, a team can be better, addition by subtraction. Right. I think they're better without OBJ. I really do.
I agree with that. I thought the Giants got a lot better without OBJ. And I think he's a cancer wherever he goes, and you're seeing it.
And, Coach, what a storyline that is you miss out on. Can you imagine if OBJ was playing and it was him coming back to New York and the crowd was there? I can't imagine the things that would have been said to him at MetLife Stadium.
The Steamer chant would be going nonstop, I got to believe, So.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's, the Indians are changing their names. And I saw that was a bunch of people they said, what's the Indians be now? And a bunch of people put the Cleveland Steamers. So.
Oh, man. But that's a huge game. Got flexed to prime time now, so it's going to be a lot to watch. Life without BJ.
No, you know what he's saying. He's taking the O out.
Yeah.
No, I honestly think, I think, like I said, I think the Browns are better without him. I don't know what. I mean, I think Baker, OBJ's the kind of guy you want to, make him happy, give him the ball. If he's not getting the ball and getting his, like they call targets now, they start complaining, they get in the quarterback's ear. And Coach, Baker doesn't have the clout of an Aaron Rodgers or whoever can just say, shut your mouth and do your job. Right.
You made a couple of one-handed catches. Big deal.
Yeah. And look at all the commercials he's out doing. And you know what I mean? He thinks he's, like I said, I'm just not a Baker guy. I don't know if he's a leader, done a lot of stupid things. I don't know if you remember about the time he ran from the cops and got tackled. Done a lot of stupid things. Like, dude, you're Baker Mayfield. You don't think they knew who you were or weren't going to find out? Right. You know what I mean? Like, in Norman too. Like, I mean, come on. Like, not the sharpest tool in the shed with some things. Yeah, I don't think Michael was. Sorry, Michael, I know you're a Browns fan. And look, in general, I think the Browns are a good team. They run the ball and play defense. I'm just not a Baker Mayfield guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's the guy. I agree.
No, neither do I.
Don't think he's the guy. So you got the coach. Now you just have to find the quarterback now.
Right. Yeah. I think they need a couple tools on defense, but I think you got a decent set of weapons. You got two very good running backs. You got a good offensive line.
DJ, send him to New England. Let's see how he does up there.
Yeah.
And speaking of New England, did you hear about N'Keal Harry?
No.
So his trainer came out and said that it's Cam Newton's fault. He's not, catching the ball, and Tom Brady would be feeding him. And
what happened last year? I know he wasn't on the field a lot.
Yes, but his numbers are actually a little bit better this year. Obviously, more games, like you said, but they're in the toilet both times. I mean, and if I remember correctly, first of all, it's the first time Belichick drafts a receiver in the first round.
Yeah,
as a Patriot coach,
right.
And he went ahead of DJ Metcalf. I think AJ Brown was the only one who went ahead of him in that draft of top guys. And is he better than those two guys? No, absolutely not.
No, he's not.
So I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's get cut bait here.
Yeah, and look, Cam's not doing a good job. There's no doubt about that. But, Tom Brady doesn't like young guys either. He likes veterans. He likes guys that are going to run the right routes, know the playbook. And, look, Cam, obviously, it's crazy, Coach, because the first couple of weeks, I was like, oh, God, it looked like Cam was back. It really did.
Right.
He had that big game in Seattle. I mean, obviously, we come to find out Seattle's defense wasn't that good. He played the Raiders really well. But since then, haven't seen much from Cam except for running the ball.
Have always been bad. But you know what? His bad mechanics, bad throws, did get him take a team to a Super Bowl, did win an MVP. I mean, the guy's got some accolades.
Yeah.
And what have you done? You're year 2 in the league, and you need to, and you got to point the finger at somebody else. Why not look in the mirror, dude?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And not just that, too. It's a bad look when your trainer's doing it, because obviously that means you were saying something, and he felt like he could do that, and you got to wonder if almost he told him to do it,
Right.
I
thought I was off the record.
Yeah, off the record. Okay. Now, if we could get in a little bit of Eagles talk.
We can, but real quick, Michael Johnson, look, you can eat all the shrimp you want. All right. I'm sure you can find some place that delivers, but Baker has 15 TDs in the red zone.
Michael, you got and look, that's a great stat, but go look at Baker's record against bad teams and good teams.
Right.
Just go look at it. He eats up on bad teams. And look, he had a good game the other night. But let me tell you this too. Baker right now is a product of Kevin Stefanski and that offense, because they run the ball.
At the quarterbacks that he's taken to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Come on.
Kirk Cousins.
He got Kirk Cousins to the playoffs, dude. Come on.
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum, yeah.
Right.
Come on.
And look, Michael, when you're running the ball successfully as the Browns are, and then you do play action or roll him out, that is where he is successful. But a lot of times he's throwing balls. And look, Baker has a good arm. He does. I'm not denying that. But he's, got tight ends running across the middle of the field wide open. Throws that you need to make. Like I said, I just think there's a ceiling with Baker Mayfield. I don't think he's a bad NFL quarterback, but I also don't think he's top 10. Maybe. I don't think top 15 either, but maybe if he is, it's like 15, 16. I don't,
Right. I would agree with that. Agree with that. So,
but yeah, on to the Eagles really quick.
Let's get to the Eagles.
Yeah, because they're. I know it sounds crazy, but the door is kind of opened back up for them. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not saying that, but look, the Giants and Redskins both have a tough game this weekend. If the Eagles were to win, they are now 2 games left and a half a game back, and it can flip to them, and they can make the
and they have
division.
To play the Redskins too. So
right. So like I said, so it's possible because they could, if they win and the Giants lose, they leapfrog the Giants. So the Eagles, if they win and both teams lose this weekend, the Eagles control their own destiny. That's how crazy it is. So if they win the last 2 games, they're in the playoffs. I mean, that's insanity to me. And look, everybody said how bad this division was, but you do have teams that are actually playing pretty decent now. And, people said it was going to be 6 wins, and it might be 7 wins. And I know that's terrible, but it's not about how you're playing in September and October. It's how you're playing in November and December. And Redskins are playing good. Giants defense is playing really well. The offense has been a little inconsistent, but when your quarterback's out, it's never going to be easy. Joe, I never said they're looking good. It's just, look, Hurts is going to change things. There's no doubt about it. And I think they could beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals, I think Kyler Murray is going to give the defense some trouble, and, Arizona should win the game, but you never know. If they can beat the Saints, they can beat the Cardinals.
Right. Right. And you know what? Here it is. If Doug can run the football, they can win.
Right.
That's the thing. If they go back, if they run the football, because obviously the Giants didn't read the same stat line that I did that said they're dead last in stopping the run.
Right. And Coach, I don't understand why that is. It seems like when coaches get desperate or, a quarterback change, they simplify things. We were calling for Doug to simplify things for a while. Garrett simplified things in the Seahawks game with Colt McCoy, didn't ask too much of him, and they were successful. I don't understand. And see, Coach, I can see now you're not focusing on anything. You're just trying to write Michael Johnson back. But why don't you pay attention, Coach? Don't tell. I can read you like a book, and then you're not listening, and you don't know what's going on. He will come on wearing a Giants jersey.
I'm not wearing it. I'm wearing my Knicks.
No, Michael Johnson said he will come on wearing a Giants jersey. No. And if you could put what Joe said, Joe, I don't disagree with you. I mean, Hurts.
Because this is the second week.
He will. Yeah, I agree. And look, there's no weapons on that offense. So, Joe, trust me, I had to listen to people saying Hurts was the Wilson 2.0. That he's the next Russell Wilson, which is just because they kind of run similar, and they do run similar. But that doesn't mean he's Russell Wilson by any means. He's got a long way to go to be Russell Wilson. And, Russell Wilson, let's not forget, he went in and was successful and had no line and no receivers. Had a great defense, but he made a lot of plays without anything on that offense.
Right.
And he's made stars out of guys like Tyler Lockett, your boy Golden Tate, because Russell Wilson.
Not my boy.
I know, I'm joking around.
I wasn't a Golden Tate guy at any juncture, just to set the record straight, okay?
Yeah. No, I think that was a horrible signing, but they'll get rid of him after this year. There's no doubt he's gone.
I think his contract's up. I think he was a 3-year deal anyway, so this is year 3.
I think this is year 2, but still, after the bull BS he pulled, Joe Judge ain't bringing him back.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not.
Angela's the nerves are hitting Angela already. T-minus 2 hours. Yeah, it's like I said, tonight it's all or nothing. So, and look, but Angela, it's not over. I've been in plenty of situations with the Eagles.
I don't agree with that, okay? Because, if if you remember, he did play at a place called Alabama. They had a few receivers come out of there that he would throw
Yeah,
it
but
to.
I agree with that in regards to the Eagles situation because they have no receivers. They have no talent really on the outside. And, now they're talking about Deshaun Jackson coming back to play 2 plays and get hurt and be out for the rest of the season again.
Right.
But, no, Angela, like I was saying, it's not over. I know it seems, but I've been on – look, the Eagles last year had to win. They were 4-8, had to win their last 4 to win the division. It can happen. I've seen plenty of Eagles teams. Now, I know the Eagles and Raiders are different, but –
Right,
plenty of Eagles teams that
make
people
a
thought were dead.
halftime adjustment to save his ass. So
No, I know he can't. Gruden can't. You're right. But look, to me, they got one game in the middle. The tough game's going to be next week against the Dolphins. Chargers and Broncos are winnable games for them, but you still got to do it on the field. And I think, Coach, don't you think Marinelli's going to help tonight? He's a better coach than Gunther. I think he helps that defense a little bit.
You fired him and then it's a short week. What is he going to be able to do? Scheme-wise, I mean, he might be able to dial up a little more blitz or something, but
right.
I don't know. But next week, yes, it might be because they'll have that extra couple days. So,
yeah. Well, maybe you hope too. You get a tired Chargers team, and you get
the rookie's not used to playing this late in the season. He might be kind of draining a little bit. So,
yeah. Look, Herbert's destroyed a lot of people, Joe, but he struggled lately. They've been really making him throw shorter passes, and he struggled a little bit. He looks really good, though. But let's not forget, too, this is the second time they're seeing him now. And I'll tell you, Belichick kind of put out to everybody, this is how you stop Herbert in that 45-0 game, which a lot of times Belichick will do. So we'll see what happens. But, look, everybody's been successful against the Raiders' defense. Let's be honest.
Right.
And they got 4 starters out tonight, too. So.
All right.
I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, 4 starters are out for the Raiders tonight.
So we'll have that pick coming up here shortly with Nevada Nick.
Yeah.
And you might be right, 300 plus yards. It wouldn't surprise me. So
yeah, no, I don't. I think and Joe Anthony Lynn, he might be the worst coach in the NFL. Some of the time management at the end of the games, and just his. I mean. Look how many blown leads they had. I think they had 4 straight games where they had leads of 17 or more, and he blew them. Like, Anthony Lynn's got to be gone because that's not a 4-9 team. There's talent on that Chargers team, and they've been in a lot of games. They should have beat the Chiefs. They should have beat the Saints. They should have beat the Raiders. I mean, I know that's a lot of –
should have beat the Buccaneers, too. They had the Buccaneers game 1.
I know, and they just fall apart. I mean – but look, wait till next year, Joe. When they get a new coach in, they get Derwin James back, and they get a couple players in there. That Chargers team, they're going to be dangerous because they have Bosa. Derwin James is a heck of a guy on the back end. Then they also lost a guy from the Broncos. I'm forgetting his name. The corner, Chris Harris Jr. He'll be back next year too. A good corner. So the Chargers are going to be a team that's going to be really tough next year.
I agree with that. I agree. Yeah. So
Stiz is hoping for a big game tonight. He's got Herbert in both of his fantasy teams.
Okay. All right.
So, and Stiz, if you got any prop bets tonight, throw it out there on comments. If you do. If you don't, not a big deal.
Yes, Stiz, you get your cookies?
No, I don't think he did.
But I don't know. Last time the post office gets used because I shipped something as well, and it's been 2 weeks. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Now, if you don't mind, do you care if I get into a little Sixers?
Go ahead.
Okay. So Sixers had their first preseason game, and look, it's preseason, so it doesn't matter. But I liked what I saw.
It doesn't matter. You're talking about it.
Yeah. Well, look, I thought Embiid looked good in the first half. And he's the key to that team. That's the one thing that Brown drove me nuts. That offense, everybody knows it, needed to run through Embiid. And he'd be standing on the three-point line. I mean, Brett Brown just made no sense. I really think Doc Rivers is going to help that team get that offense straight. But let's be honest, the Eastern Conference is really tough. I mean, the Heat make the run last year to the finals. The Bucks are back and maybe better. You got the Raptors are good. Let's not forget the Nets this year. You got Kyrie and Durant. And then the Sixers. I mean, there's 5 teams they're vying to get into the finals for. But look, I like the Sixers' chances. I really do. And I didn't even bring up the Celtics either, although the Celtics did lose Gordon Hayward. But I like this Sixers team. They finally have shooting. They finally have some depth. They didn't have a deep bench. They're getting deeper. I like where the Sixers are at. I like Morey, and I think, they're not done. I think as we get towards the trade deadline, the Sixers will bring maybe another shooter or two. I know a couple of years ago when they brought in Ilyasova and Bellinelli, how much that helped that team because they went on like a 15-game win streak and looked very dangerous going into the playoffs.
And you didn't mention the Knicks.
Yeah. Well, the Knicks, coach, they got to show it on the court. They never have. Can you put up what Stiz said? Because there's been a lot of chatter about it. Harden he's talking about. Look, I don't get it. I wouldn't trade Ben Simmons for Harden. Let me tell you this. It looked like Harden been hanging out with me all summer because he looked like he gained 30 pounds. If you saw the pictures, he looked like he was at In-N-Out Burger way too much over the summer. I mean, he looked like he put a couple on. The Sixers are his squad, Angela.
Yeah, these guys are Sixers, Yeah,
we're Sixers. But no, I wouldn't trade Harden for Ben Simmons straight up. I wouldn't give up Simmons for Harden. Harden's over 30, and look, if you bring him on, you're talking about a 2 or 3 year window. And look how talented it is around the NBA. Lakers are really good. And I just talked about all the teams in the Eastern Conference. The Denver Nuggets, the Mavericks are going to be really good with Porzingis and Doncic. I mean, there's a lot of good teams in the NBA. I wouldn't do it for a 2 or 3 year window. But even if they're not even talking about them straight up, they're saying the Sixers should trade 3 ones and Simmons for Harden. No way. I would never do that.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's funny that, the talk of him to the Nets because, Kevin Durant's his boy. Haven't heard boo from the Nets about him. Nothing.
No, because Coach, he's making $40-some million a year, so the money has to add up. And the Rockets are saying, "Look, we're just not going to take 2 stiffs or 3 stiffs that don't add. Why would we do that?" And I agree with them. They tried bringing John Wall in to try to maybe change it up a little bit, but
it's coming off an Achilles. I mean, you don't know what you're getting there. I mean,
but Westbrook, Coach,
the Wizards friggin' robbed the Rockets there.
Yeah, and look, Westbrook. One possibility is, Coach, is your Knicks, because they could just take his money on. So that's one that's a possibility. If the Knicks say, "Hey, we'll take him," if the Rockets get desperate, because the Knicks could just absorb his money.
Right.
And look, that might work in New York. Because they're just trying to get relevant again, Coach.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would at least entice some free agents to come next year. I mean, because I think they become a playoff team.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
With him on the roster, they become a playoff team. And for the dumpster fire that the Knicks have been.
And look, Tibbs will get them playing good defense. I like the draft pick this year.
Yeah.
They're it's going to take time, but if they can get, like I said, they just got to become relevant again and become a destination for free agents and that players want to go. You got to get rid of that Dolan stench. And I'm really kind of curious because, obviously it's non-story now because they're not letting fans in, but I'm really curious to see what happens with the Spike Lee situation and James Dolan once Knicks fans are allowed back in the arena.
Right. I agree. It's going to be it's going to flare back up. So
because he said I'm not going to any games the rest of the year, and he didn't. So the media is going to be all over that. Nothing gets by in New York, Coach. You know how that goes.
Absolutely. I mean, there's more reporters at a New York sports team's practice than some newspapers have on their entire staff. In other parts of the country. Just
Yeah. Now, Coach, I have 2 picks tonight. Can I give one out now and one later? So we'll do one halfway. All right. Thank you. All right. So the first pick tonight, I think I like it too. So the over-under for this game opened at 55. It's all the way down to 51.5. I love over in this game. I actually bet, and you know me, Coach, I don't do over-unders a lot, do I? No. I had the over-under in this game last time. was the one. Because I said 2 bad defenses, 2 good offenses. I like the over again. I don't know why it's being bet under, but a lot of money's coming on under. And as I said to you, when the public goes one way, I like to go the other way. So I'm going to go with over. I like over 51.5 tonight, and I'll be giving my pick on the game before the end of the show, obviously.
All right, there you go. The over. That's I guess we're good for 2-3 times a year an under over bet, and here's the second one of the season. We might get one for the Super Bowl. Probably will be the next time we see that.
Probably a good good. That's probably what it will be, because you got to give it out. I'll give out heads or tails, and because the Super Bowl, you can bet anything. You can bet the color of the Gatorade, the coach gets dumped. Last time, remember, it was J-Lo, if J-Lo would have any butt cleavage in the halftime show.
Right.
Which Stiz went with, I believe, no. I can't remember what Stiz had, but it was one of the props he won. I know that, because Stiz was 5-0 in his prop bets with the Super Bowl last year. He went backwards. You said over instead of over-under. It's the same thing. So
I'm dyslexic. I'm allowed to do it. I mean,
he's allowed to do it, Michael. Leave him alone, man.
Come on now. Come on. And just an update for us Yankee fans. I know Jason Dean's not on, but, still DJ LeMahieu still haven't signed him yet. So I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, and that's they got to sign him. I was happy for the Phillies that McCann went to the Mets, because I think that was going to be the chief rival for Real Malto for the Phillies.
Right.
So,
think, what? Yeah, but I think Real Malto too. I think was hoping that the Mets would hold out a little longer, because now there's no other shooter now. So the Phillies betting against them, bidding against themselves, and they're not really going to do it. So,
Coach, this is going to be a weird offseason for baseball, because I don't think teams want to open up the checkbooks too much after last year. And look, Coach, you know it too. There's an unknown for this year. I know the vaccine's coming out, but when is baseball going to be able to have fans? I don't think they're going to in April. Can it happen by Memorial Day? Is it 4th of July? You know what I mean? We don't know. We don't know how, smoothly this whole vaccine's going to come in, and we don't know exactly yet, is there going to be side effects or whatever?
They're going to turn you into a zombie or something. We're going to start living a sci-fi movie here in a couple of months. Who knows?
Yeah. So what's sci-fi movie? The NFL Rookie of the Year. Yes, it's between 2 guys, Herbert and Jefferson. Jefferson's really come on late. Herbert, that's a tough one, man. I'd probably go Jefferson, though. They're on the cusp of a playoff. Oh, sorry. Cut off of a playoff. They're not going to get in, obviously, but the Chargers are out of it. And usually the team that goes a little bit further with the rookie gets that nod. So, and especially when you get to the bigger awards like MVP, which that's kind of between 2 guys, Mahomes and Rodgers right now. I'm hoping for Mahomes, because obviously I bet Mahomes. And Michael Johnson, unless you're going to get something back, I wouldn't trade Linder either. But like I said, there's some good players out there. Let's see what happens with. I mean, the guy won the Cy Young for the Reds in Trevor Bauer. I mean, where does he end up?
The Mets.
I know, but
they've been tweeting love notes to each other, apparently.
Yeah, and look, if it happens, Coach, it's Dodgers or Mets then next year, because I know they need a couple bats, and they lost Cano's out for the year, right? Didn't he get suspended the whole year?
Yeah, but he didn't do crap anyway. I mean, he's so past his prime.
No, you're right. But still, man, when you got to go against
guys, I mean, you got what is it?
Syndergaard coming back.
Yeah, but in the outfield, you had that first baseman, Dominic.
You got Alonso.
Pete Alonso, and the kid in the outfield. You got some young
Michael Conforto.
And
you talking about Conforto?
Conforto and somebody else. But they have another young kid too. But David, not Mahomes. What are you talking about? Not Mahomes. I don't know what you got there.
Yeah, because I said it was Aaron or Pat Mahomes or Patrick Mahomes. His mom doesn't like what his
Yeah,
mom
yeah,
wants
I didn't
Patrick.
call
That's
him
right.
Pat.
Don't
Yeah.
want to be pissing off Mrs. Mahomes. But yeah, I mean, and I would go with Patrick Mahomes. I know he's got more talent around him, but
Wait a second. I thought we said rookie.
we did. But then I brought up MVP too, which I said I thought was between Rodgers and Mahomes.
Oh,
But I think, I mean, you're talking about the Chiefs, a team that's won 22 of 23 games. I mean, that's coach 22-1. I mean, that's a hell of a stretch they're on right now, the Chiefs. And you look, he keeps them in every game. And the one game they lost, they were in too, and it was to Angela's Raiders. And that's the Raiders for you. They can beat the Chiefs and the Saints and then struggle to beat the Jets. Oh, wow, no Mike Williams tonight.
Or Keenan Allen.
Oh, man, great news. That's not good. Well, now we know why the over-under was what it was.
There you go.
Damn you,
Right.
Stiz. I had heard about they were game time decisions, but it sounded like they were going to play.
Well,
Obviously,
you're done in your fantasy league because now your boy Herbert's not going to have a lot of points. Got nobody to throw the football to. So
yeah. Well, Eckler's playing.
well,
So
he'll be throwing it to the other team, maybe. You know.
Come on, man. The guy's in his fantasy playoffs, man. You should be rooting for him. So he didn't get his cookies yet, so you can at least root for the guy.
Yeah, at least root for the guy. Yay, Stiz! Yeah.
I'll tell you, man. I've been sitting like today. We had snow here where I'm at. So I was snowed in. I was sitting all day waiting for those cookies. I figured, well, it's been a week today. It was a week ago today. He told me they were on the way. Showed me the phony text message, I guess, that the cookies were. I think he texted himself so that it showed up on the text
On my
and just put
burner,
it up.
I got a burner. I text to myself so I can say, "Hey, look."
Yeah.
Oh, but hey, I have no control over these things. But you know what? I am. I'll be on the horn after the show, and we will be calling people on the show Sunday. We will be calling them if they're not calling in. Let me just tell you, we'll get to the bottom.
Where are these guys cookies? After you're going to call and say,
that's right. Where are these cookies at? All right, that's right. That's right.
I'll tell you.
Will be there. Get a little eggnog there, Brian. What's up with that? It's the holidays. Who drinks milk? It's eggnog, baby.
Now, Angela, that's one show that is on my list on Netflix. Schitt's Creek. I heard it's great. I'm a big Eugene Levy guy too, so I gotta check that out.
I watched some of it. I didn't. Obviously, other stuff came up, but every once in a while I'll go back to it. But
Stiz says you have to strong arm somebody to get those cookies.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to do. We'll see. So I'll be broadcasting Sunday from another top secret location. So we'll make sure that we'll have people standing with the tinfoil to get the internet jumped in and get the phone lines working. So
Yeah, are we selling anything this time too again? like Monday?
Listen, man, starting a little bidding war on those things. You better jump in. You want that Raiders helmet,
right? This is now the In the Huddle with Coach Muddle / QBC show.
That's right.
Coach is like, they're going quickly. Call 1-800.
Get the timer on the top, man. We're counting down.
You know what thing I always thought was great? They would put the number. They would put the number on, and it would just keep going up like they're about to sell out. That's total BS, just to get you like paranoid it's going to sell out and call the number up. I mean, it is good salesmanship, but Brian, look, if none of those guys are playing, I would think about it. And Brian, I've been a while since we've seen Brian, hasn't it been? I don't remember. Maybe he was in Monday. I don't remember. What's going on, Brian? But Stiz, what do you think? Would you start Hunter Henry tonight? I mean, I would, especially these other guys. You're going to have Herbert throwing the ball, although the Raiders' run defense isn't exactly inspiring. So maybe the plan's going to be to hand it off to Eckler and not have Herbert throw it as much. Now, Stiz, is Keenan Allen definitely out, or are they saying it's – because I saw you put Michael Williams, Keenan Allen might be limited.
Limited. So,
well, there you go, Angela. There's some good news for the Raiders. Not to be, but it helps.
It helps.
Angela said last night, she said, 4 players were out on defense this week, but last week nobody, played. So maybe it'll help. And she was right. Nobody showed up last week. So
right. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes, man. We'll see how
this is like our Adam Schefter. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is our sideline reporter.
The Stiz report. Report. We're getting the Stiz report.
Let's get into the game now. I will obviously give my pick. Let's get into the game. I mean, it's I talked about it a little bit last night, Coach. I wanted to see what you thought. I thought Gruden firing Gunther was a blame shift. I really did. I think he knew the heat was going to come big now after losing last week and really hurting their playoff chances. So it's like almost giving the fans something here. Here's this, to get his head off the chopping block. Because I think it's a move he should have made weeks ago, especially after that Falcons loss. What do you think?
I agree.
And look, Coach, because to me, they're going to be in year 4 next year. If they don't make the playoffs this year, then to me, Gruden's on the hot seat next year, but he's got the 10-year deal. And Davis, he doesn't have deep pockets like these other NFL owners. Does he fire him with 6 years left on his deal, or is he married to him?
I don't know. I mean, I think you got to move on. You're at a new stadium.
Right.
I think if for some weird reason there's no fans again, he stays. If fans are back, he's gone. You got to get rid of him. You can't. Yeah. You just can't. You can't deal with it. I'm sorry.
You've got 4 years and no playoffs. And look, in year 2, when you start 6-4, and everybody's thinking, you might make the playoffs, and then year 3, you beat the defending Super Bowl champions, your arch rival Chiefs. You beat the Saints, and I think they were 5-2 or 5-3, and then 6-4, where you really feel good about your playoff chances. And then what happens? It happens again 2 years in a row. Playoffs are good. To me, it's playoffs or bust for him next year, no doubt in my mind. And
I'm sorry, I never thought. I thought Gruden won with Tony Dungy's guys.
100%.
He's not been able to win with his own guys. He just is not. He's a better coordinator. I'm sorry. He's not.
I agree. Oh, no, I agree. And I think he's gotten a little stale on offense because he runs that West Coast. But look at Andy Reid's West Coast. Andy Reid's West Coast is very innovative. I can't forget the word. Innovative. Excuse me. Thank you, Coach. Look at this. Innovative. But he also uses concept from college. He uses a lot of motion. Andy Reid's very creative. John Gruden's is very stale. I mean, they use the fullback a lot, which is look, if it works, I don't care. But it's just seems stale to me. And, and let's not forget this, Coach. Since that Super Bowl win, and that Super Bowl win was because of that Bucs defense, not Brad Johnson and the Bucs offense. Right. He is 63 and 78. 15 games under 500. And after this year, it'll be 9 seasons he's coached since they won the Super Bowl. You're not even a 500 coach.
Without a winning record.
You can't even say you're an average coach at 500. You're 15 games under 500 after 9 seasons. That's an issue, Coach. Right. I don't care if you have a Super Bowl championship under your belt. I mean, look at Doug Peterson. He's only 3 years removed from the Super Bowl, and he's getting tons of criticism.
I agree. Yeah. I agree 100%. I've never been on the bandwagon. So
he did have Callahan's playbook too. That didn't hurt. I mean, he knew exactly what was going to happen. They told him, look, Rich Gannon's going to do this with those sluggos and all that. They look at all the interceptions they had.
Here's the deal. It wasn't Callahan the O-line coach. Didn't they just promote him to head coach? When
he might have been the coordinator. He might have been the offensive coordinator too.
Right. So he didn't change anything. He didn't even change anything, because if you listen to the interview with Derek Brooks, he said that Gruden told us that you called it this, and he's yelling it out in the game, and we're like, oh, here we know what the play is.
Well, Gruden played scout team quarterback during, so they knew. I mean, look at Dexter Jackson was a Super Bowl MVP. They knew what was coming. I mean, it was, and that's why it was a blowout. I just can't believe Callahan didn't change anything. And, it was sorry, I don't mean to bring up bad things with the Raiders. Although, hey, it's the last time you were in a Super Bowl, so better to be in the Super Bowl than not in the playoffs. So there is a positive, and it just didn't go your way. And anyway, I think that should have been the Eagles' year anyway, but Andy blew it, obviously. Eagles should have beat the Bucs.
Yeah.
Gruden got lucky. They went into that game. It was the last game at the Vet. You want to talk about hurt, Angela. So it's the last game of the Vet. It's the second year in a row we made the NFC Championship. The Bucs were 0-27 in under 40 degrees.
Yep, in under 40 degrees.
And
I remember that. It was like 38 degrees that game and dropping because it was a late game.
Yeah, right. And the Eagles eliminated them the previous two playoffs in the first round, and they beat them earlier in the year. And then we go and lose Joe Juravicius because we had freaking fat Levon Kirkland at middle linebacker. He ran by him, and then he ran right by Blaine Bishop. So, I mean, when you got Nevada Nick at middle linebacker, you're going to be in trouble with the tight ends running across the middle. And that's what Levon Kirkland was.
He played for the Giants. He was a slot guy.
Yeah, Joe Juravicius, right. Exactly, yeah. But he had the long play that because the Eagles were up, and that was the other thing, too. Imagine this. All that is in your head. The Eagles get the kickoff. Brian Mitchell takes it to the 20. Deuce scores on a touchdown, 7-0. I mean, I'm not going to lie. We all thought we're going to the Super Bowl. It was, I know it's early, but they're beating them, and it just felt like, oh, my God, we're going to the Super Bowl. And then the rest is history. That is the quietest I've ever seen the Vet. When Rondé Barber picked that ball off, fans weren't even mad. It's like we just had our hearts ripped out, and we just walked out depressingly. It was, it wasn't good.
All right. Very good. So let's get to the pick.
All right, look, I'm going to be honest. I would not bet this game. I wouldn't bet the game. But I'll take the Raiders. I'm going to go Raiders. The line's 3.
Now, look, are you just kissing up to Angela because you're on her show? Is this I want to know? Are you because I know how you do it with the Eagles. You get your heart involved. So now you got this. You're on the show, and I'm trying to keep things good.
Yeah, Coach, I'll admit, last week a little bit. I think I'll be honest. They affected me. Look, I like all those. I like all the Raiders fans. A lot of good people. I said on the show, everything tells me the Colts, but I thought the Raiders were gonna. So my heart might have got tweaked a little bit. I'll admit it in that game. But this game, honestly, I'm telling you, I think it could go either way. I wouldn't bet the game, being honest. But if I had a gun put to my head, I would take the Raiders -3. If a gun was to my head and I had to pick the game. I'm going to go Raiders 34-24. I think Marinelli's going to help. Look, 2 receivers out for the Chargers. You're seeing Herbert for the second time. I think Marinelli's going to help. You would think Gruden, would hopefully get them going tonight after just 3 sad weeks of what they put on film. Let's be honest. When you're playing this late in the season with playoffs on the line, and this is what they put out there the last 3 weeks, it's embarrassing. I mean, let's just be honest, Coach. At least with like the Giants, you could say, hey, look, you know what? They're going out and playing hard, but it might not be pretty, but they're playing hard. I don't know that you could say the same about the Raiders.
Okay. All right.
And the other thing I do like tonight, now that Stiz said that, I will give out 2 prop bets.
All right.
Eckler is over 60.5 rushing yards. I like that. And then
really?
Yeah, they're going to run the ball.
Yeah,
Raiders,
yeah, you're right.
And then and Chargers actually do have a decent line. And then I'm going to go Derek Carr over 265 yards. Well, look at that. We got our Thursday night Stiz's lock. Hunter Henry over 4.5 receptions. There you go.
Okay. All right.
Who do you got tonight, Coach?
You know what? I just think that Gruden can't make his adjustments, and I'm sorry. I'm betting against Gruden because
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I'm not.
I just don't think he can do it.
Although I'll tell you, since the last couple every week I have picked the Raiders, and it has burned me. I mean, now the Jets game, I did not say.
Wait a second. Fuck you, Sully. Because he's the one who says it all the time.
So the Jets game, I took the Raiders at 2, and it ended up covering by the skin of its teeth on that last play. but it ended up covering. But I just thought, after the Falcons, they were going to bounce back, and they didn't. And it's been a rut. And, there's a lot of bad things, and you'd hope Gruden could get him out of it. And he's struggling. I wonder if the pressure's getting to be a little much, and the team feels it because they just haven't come out. But, the Colts were the better team. Tonight, I don't know. I think the Raiders might be the better team. I think the Raiders might be the better coach team because Anthony Lynn is not a good coach.
I agree. I'll give you that.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, folks, there you have it. Go enjoy Thursday night football. Raiders. Right on cue there. We got the Raider contingency showing up here on the show. So listen, everyone, enjoy the game tonight. We'll see you Sunday morning. Sunday fun day, Nevada, Nick, and Stiz, and we'll be doing it. So, all right, everyone, have a great night. Yep, there you go. That's just for you, Angela.
There it is. That's just for you, Angela.
Yeah.
Raiders 34-24. There it is. Hey, I don't know if you got to see. Coach is accusing me of getting my heartstrings pulled by your show and the fans that I'm picking the Raiders just because of that.
Yeah, because John Gruden is terrible.
Yeah.
And, so here we go. One more time. I got it. Is this the autograph?
That's a real Rats. I need him tonight.
Right here. There you go.
Yeah.
So
all right, Coach.
Not taking the Raiders, but there's the Raiders helmet. So
all right, Coach.
I agree with you, Brian. I agree with you. All right, everyone. Enjoy the game. We'll see you Sunday morning. Have a good one. Thanks for checking us out. And make sure you go over to YouTube, ring the bell, subscribe, and hit me up, Instagram, Twitter, follow along. We would appreciate it. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Thanks.